Have you ever wondered why we fear? What triggers that cold chill down your spine or that racing heartbeat? Well, to understand fear, we need to take a step back, way back, to our early human ancestors. You see, fear is essentially a survival mechanism, a primal instinct. It was this instinct that kept our forebears alive when they faced threats like predatory animals or natural disasters. So, when we experience fear, it's a bit like a time machine, connecting us back to our evolutionary past. But what exactly happens in our bodies when we fear? Well, it's quite a chemical cocktail. Our adrenal glands pump adrenaline, our heart rate increases, our senses sharpen. These physiological responses prepare us to face the perceived danger, a mechanism commonly known as the fight or flight response. So, fear in essence is our body's primal response to potential danger. But how does this age-old survival mechanism come into play in our modern lives? Fear, in our day-to-day existence, can be both a friend and a foe. It acts as a security guard, warning us of potential threats, like wavering on the edge of a high cliff or walking down a dark alley late at night. These are useful fears that protect us, keeping our safety in check. However, there are also unwanted fears that hinder us. Fear of public speaking, fear of failure, or fear of rejection, for instance, can limit our opportunities and stifle our potential. These fears often stem not from imminent physical danger, but from perceived threats to our self-esteem or social standing. Interestingly, fear can also be a catalyst for change. It can push us out of our comfort zones and motivate us to conquer challenges. Yet, if not managed well, it can paralyze us, stifling our personal growth. Indeed, fear can be both a shield and a shackle, depending on how we handle it. But what factors shape our individual fears? Are they all just remnants of our evolutionary past? Well, not quite. While our primal fears originated from survival needs, our individual fears today are also strongly influenced by societal and cultural factors. For instance, our fear of rejection can stem from societal expectations. We live in a world where acceptance and belonging are highly valued, and the fear of being ostracized can be overwhelming. It's not about confronting a wild beast anymore, but rather facing the potential judgment or disapproval of our peers. Then there's the role of media and popular culture. The way fear is portrayed in movies, news, and even social media can significantly influence our perception of certain fears. Think about how the movie Jaws instilled a fear of sharks in many, despite the statistical improbability of a shark attack. Clearly, our fears are not just biological, but are also shaped by the world around us. Yet fear has a darker side. It can be used against us. But how? Let's delve into this. Fear, when manipulated, can serve as a control mechanism. Politicians, for instance, often exploit fears to gain power or support. By amplifying concerns about national security or economic stability, they can sway public opinion and drive their agenda forward. In the world of marketing, fear is used to trigger an emotional response. Companies capitalize on fears of inadequacy, aging, or missing out to sell products and services. They present their offerings as solutions to these fears, compelling us to buy. Social engineering, too, thrives on fear. Cybercriminals exploit our trepidation of losing personal data or financial assets, duping us into revealing sensitive information. They use our fear against us, making us unwitting accomplices in their schemes. Such instances underline the sinister potential of fear. Fear, when exploited, can be a powerful tool of manipulation. So, how do we break free from the chains of fear? How do we reclaim control? Well, the journey begins with understanding our fears and not avoiding them. It's about seeing fear for what it truly is, a survival mechanism, not a dictator of our lives. One effective strategy is exposure therapy, where we gradually confront our fears in a safe and controlled environment, reducing their influence over us. This technique retrains our brain to understand that the feared object or situation is not as harmful as we perceive. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is another powerful tool. It helps us to challenge and change our thought patterns, leading to a shift in our behavior and emotions. Finally, mindfulness can be a valuable ally. It helps us stay present, preventing us from being swept away by fear-induced thoughts about past failures or future catastrophes. Remember, it's not about eradicating fear, but about learning to navigate it. In understanding and confronting our fears, we can transform them from obstacles into stepping stones on our path to growth.